Hello, everybody. Stoutman here with another interview. I've got Cameron Wilkie from CIG
Hello.
UK office, and he is the manager of events and marketing. Right? Did I get that title right?
That sounds pretty close. I'm events and marketing manager for Foundry 42, based out of Wilmslow.
There we
So
go.
I'm lucky. I'm the only person with events in their job title, so I get to help create all the parties around the world and help with the EU side of the marketing team.
Cool, cool. So I had the pleasure of working with you at CitizenCon in Hollywood a couple months ago. I was one of the volunteers um, that
That's
got to
right. You got one
spend
of those
a nice.
lucky T-shirts on right there.
That's right. I got my T-shirt to prove
Limited
it.
edition.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun that day. That was a blast putting that on for everybody. It was a long day, but it was a good day, and I think everybody had fun in the end. I know I did.
It was a good party, and the atmosphere was jubilant. There were a lot of people, regardless of any particular content that was on stage or broadcast at the time. The whole weekend was a gathering of like minds, and really fun to see people meet up that had only met via streams or gameplay previously. So it was a great community event. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, definitely. Okay, so why don't you? I know that you were a volunteer for CIG with events and that type of stuff for a while before you actually got hired to do it for a living, which is obviously a dream job. You're
Very much.
very lucky, man. I wish I had a job like that. So why don't you tell us something about how you got started on the path to working with Star Citizen?
Okay. Well, my two main passions in life are computer games and food. Food got me into the hospitality industry. So for about 20 good years before joining CIG, I was helping run restaurants, hotels, resorts, and doing various events within those. But I've always been a gamer at the same time. And so my holidays would be gaming oriented, to the point where once I started backing Star Citizen a couple of years ago now, I would be taking my holidays to go to Gamescom, to go to CitizenCon, and be a volunteer to help run the events. So for me to be able to do now as a full-time job what I was trying to do in my holidays previously, that's that's where the dream come true job factor comes in. I think I follow my dad's advice. If I can find something in life that doesn't feel like work and I can do it as my job, then I've got it made. And so I think this is the pinnacle of that. Absolutely.
If you can find somebody to pay you to do something you enjoy, that's the trick in life.
So I suppose phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few jobs like that where I really enjoyed it. It wasn't work when I went there, and I think working for CIG on Star Citizen would be a job like that. I think most of the backers are kind of that opinion. It just seems like fun.
It is a whole lot of fun.
I know you've got a lot of
And
you've got a lot of dedicated employees there that work a lot of long hours to make things happen. So,
hundreds. And there are, I would estimate about half of the team came in over the weekend globally just to try and push the builds out and make things happen for 2.6. And there's a lot of the team that put in above and beyond the Call of Duty hours and effort to make things as beautiful as they can and make it run well. And keeping in mind that these guys, that they're inventing the technology to be able to make the game. So it's not just a case of grinding out code or touching up art. It's a case of the real brain strain, the real pinnacle of their talent to be able to make the technology to make the game. So it's impressive to watch.
They're creating all kinds of cool stuff as they're going along, things that game companies never done before, which is pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah.
It's not easy, and sometimes it takes longer than they think, but, you know, magic doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes you got to throw it in the kettle and let it brew for a little while.
And it's a lot of hard work and iteration. So each time a new build is made, there'll be something else that comes up that could be done better, or could be tweaked, or could be improved, or sometimes you do get new bugs coming up because of fixes and workarounds for other things. So all the time they're trying to lay the solid foundation, the solid groundwork, never wanting to do something specifically just to be able to show it off. Always wanting the groundwork technology to be right. And it does take a while. It does take time.
Yeah, there was a couple of weeks ago I was in at the CIG Santa Monica office helping to shoot some video and stuff that was used in the live stream. I did get my face in there and my voice in there, but you saw me flying ships and running guys around. That story kept changing, and the week I was there, every day we went in, the script was different. And the next week when they were putting it together, it just changed so much that we got cut out. So
well,
that's the way it goes. because you gotta have people there to do lines, and the people that are there in the office can do it like that versus having people come in. So we know that. But I got to watch every day there was a new build, and one day there was a build and some of the doors in the Caterpillar wouldn't open. It's like, well, we can't use this today. So we went back to the previous day's build. It's just you cannot test every single thing. I've seen it firsthand. And when they tell us that, it's true. And I've done enough coding over the years that I know what it's like. You add something new, you fix something, and then you go in and test it, and something else broke that just you weren't able to see it until you got the first thing fixed. And then the logic of the code progresses the way it's supposed to, or maybe the way it's not supposed to, until something else happens. And then, okay, now we got to fix that. Now we got to fix that. You can't estimate how long it takes to debug stuff. It's crazy, but it's fun, and it's you guys are making it happen faster than most companies put out just an average game. So I don't know how you're doing it. You got a lot of talented people.
There's elements of the game that are coming out now that I think are going to start being representative of the finished product, and are going to start showing what the game is really going to look like, and that's exciting. When we start releasing content that our community can be proud of and say, hey, my friends over there that are playing this game, come have a look at this, because I'm really proud of this, and I really want you to have a look at it. And when we get to that point, I think that's the tipping point. For me, especially when 3.0 comes out, then it's a real game. It's a true understanding and appreciation of all the elements coming together.
Yeah,
even though there's still so much more to be added on after that. I think that's a tipping point for me.
Yeah, 3.0 with all that it's going to have in it, with the professions and planets, and it's going to feel like, I don't like to use the phrase a real game, but it's going to start feeling that way, because there's going to be stuff to do. It's not just a couple missions and a couple stations to go to. There's going to be a lot more content, hauling cargo, more ships. It's going to be what we've been waiting for, at least the start of it. So, plus,
have you had much of a go of Star Marine yet?
I have not played Star Marine yet. I'm not a big FPS guy. I've been watching some of it. It looks cool. I may do some tonight when I stream, but I haven't done it yet. I've been doing some of the Arena Commander stuff, mainly just free flight, just learning the new ships. I want to get into the persistent universe and play that, but that's not You know, that's not available yet on the test server.
Yeah, there's still there's a couple of bugs that they need to get out of the way before they can release Crusader to the PTU, but it's not far off that at all.
Yeah, they're getting there. You know, one bug at a time. That's all you can do.
And it really is. I think it's one blocker and a couple of criticals, and then away they go. So
Well, hopefully we'll get it.
good.
Hopefully we'll
Sanity
get the
check.
rest of it this next week. Would be nice if we can work through it. We'll see.
Well, I know the whole of CIG would love to be able to take Christmas and New Year's off, and so there is a definite drive to get it out to everyone for the holidays and to be able to take a well-earned week off.
Yeah, I remember last year when we had 2.0 this time last year, which was a big deal, and that was just amazing. And everybody's like, "Ooh, ah!" the whole time, the whole month. And I think you guys still had, CIG had a lot of people working over that holiday season, just to make it work. And I know they've got dedicated guys that are not going to be able to rest until they get it working how they're happy, and that's going to happen again this season. So, on behalf of all the players, thank you guys for your hard work. We are loving it. We are living it.
Well, I think I'll clip that section and I'll pass it on to the team.
Right.
It's always appreciated because they're the talented people. They're putting in a lot of effort.
I know. CIG's got the biggest group of talented people I've ever seen. They've got people that have worked on just about every video game ever made. It seems. I mean, it's like this guy's worked here, and this guy's worked there. It's just like, whoa. You name a game, probably got somebody that's did something with it over the years. You've got 300 plus people now. And
that's 350. Yeah.
Wow, that's a few.
And you're right. It is kind of cool when you're chatting to someone and they mention a game you've worked on that they've worked on, and you're like, oh no, I played that. That was a really cool game. And so that's fun. Yeah.
Cool. So you did CitizenCon, you did GameCon. Tell us something about GameCon. That was your first event as a CIG employee, right?
That's right.
You just started like a couple weeks before or something?
Oh, it was pretty a pretty brief and brutal introduction. So I accepted the offer to join CIG mid-July. Still working at helping run a restaurant in London with some fabulous restaurateurs down there. And the last couple of weeks of working in London, so the second half of July, I was pretty much also working full-time behind the scenes with Inez in the Frankfurt office to help get ready and prepare everything for Gamescom. Started up in Wilmslow on the 8th of August, and then flew over to Cologne the next week. So it was straight in. Yeah, it was a lot of work, but so much fun again. And I knew what I was going in for because I've been to Gamescom the previous 2 years. So we knew the long hours. I knew it was going to require some clean T-shirts for the volunteers and plenty of Red Bull and chocolate and some decent sandwiches.
Good old Red Bull.
That's it's the way to get through events.
So what events are you guys working on next? You got anything coming up soon?
Well, what is it now? It's December, so about a month from now, there's PAX South.
Right.
Down in San Antonio. So we would like to show ourselves there, but our level of participation, we're still just tweaking that. So I would say if you're going to PAX South, expect to be able to catch up with Tyler or someone who will be there just to say hi. Let's see what our level of participation is there. I'm not sure yet. We're still just tweaking that. And then February, we would like to say hello to PC Gamer Weekend in London. March, there's South by Southwest in Austin and Texas.
Right.
Again, if you're going to that, expect to see us there in some way, shape, or form. April is BritizenCon on Saturday the 22nd in Manchester. So
they moved that up from last year. It was like September or something, I think, last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, last year was
the
May
first
or
one.
June.
No, BritizenCon was earlier. They've moved it up earlier in the year.
Yeah. I was chatting to Chris, who's organizing that. There was the potential that if it was in June or July, it might conflict with some other things that we might have had going on. And April seems a pretty good month, and it was quiet on our calendar, so it was easier to encourage devs to go along and enjoy BritizenCon if I knew that they weren't going to be like crunching on stuff on our side. So yeah, it was a nice compromise.
Well, it makes it easy for CIG too, because it's not right next to CitizenCon then. So
that's it. And we're not in that ramp up to Gamescom, which always draws the focus.
Right. So all these cons just take up so much time.
By the time we get to July, it's the second half of the year again, and we're Gamescom, CitizenCon, anniversary, holiday.
That's where you got to put out the content and the updates so people are watching, because that's where you got so many eyes focused at one time. You gotta take advantage of that. So you guys did a good job on that this year. Definitely, with the Gamescom presentation was awesome.
Gamescom it almost made me cry. It was
good.
Truly beautiful. And I think one of the coolest things about the 3.0 demo is if you look at the games that win the Game of the Year award, okay, the games that are noteworthy, the games that people go, look at that game, look what it's doing. It's done this one thing that no other game has ever done before, or it's doing this one thing so brilliantly that it's making the game really cool. And every now and then a game will do one or two or three things. There was about 6 things in a row during that presentation where it was like, and no one's ever done that before, and that, and that, and that, and look at that. And it was just one after the other. And I think for me, that was just, oh, that's so cool. Oh, that's so cool as well. It was so much fun. So, yeah.
That presentation really got a lot of people's attention. People that hadn't been paying attention to Star Citizen much or at all. And because that trailer really showed some stuff that none of us had seen, well, except for you guys making it. But the backers, the players, we hadn't seen a lot of that content, and that whet our appetite for more. And now we're still pounding on the doors. Where's 2.6? And it's right behind the door. You can hear the computer hum and just can't quite get to it yet.
Well, at least now that over the weekend people have been streaming Star Marine, so it's a reality. It's coming. There's that feeling. It's not just the cake is not a lie. It's here and it's coming. People can watch it and they can see it happening, and they can see people flying around in Arena Commander. With the new flight balancing systems and
the new ships and the new ships.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of new ships.
Yeah. Caterpillar's kind of crazy to fly. I need a lot more practice on that one. The visibility from the pilot seat is so different from every other ship. Even the Starfarer, you're center in the front, and on the Caterpillar you're way back on the side. It's very different. Needless to say, I'm glad I'm going to have LTI on my lifetime insurance. I'm going to use it.
You're feeling like a target at the moment.
Well, it's like I can't see.
Or is it just parking zone?
I can't see how to park it. It's like you can't see the landing pad under. You're going to have to get into different camera mode and get used to that, or use auto land. Autoland's easy. That helps.
Well, it's included in the price of the ship, isn't it? So there's you've got to be able to feel, you've got to be able to press a key and, okay, so land this for me.
Well, assuming you're at a landing zone that has Autoland, because a lot of places won't down the road. Right now, every place does.
I mean, in Caterpillar, you could be at some nefarious rendezvous in a valley in a planet, couldn't you? So
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Doing all kinds of crazy things. Picking up stuff you're not supposed to, dropping off stuff nobody knows about, Of course, talking on a stream doesn't help, but... Okay, so... Let's see. I want to let everybody know that we are taking questions for Cameron. So if you want to ask a question, just prefix it with question in square brackets, and then your question, and we'll try to answer them. No when questions. He doesn't know when something's going to be ready.
Well, let me jump in there and say I have had a couple of people ask me the same question a few times over the course of the last couple of weeks, and it's a question that I would probably be one of the best people to field, because it's about Gamescom and it's about CitizenCon. It's going to be a bit of a non-answer, but it's the current official update, so at least you can be clearly updated. Gamescom, are we going to be there? Yes, we're going to be at Gamescom. Are we doing events at Gamescom? I can't see why we won't, but we're still contracting venues, and until those contracts are signed, both sides, we can't confirm where we're going to be and when we're going to be, because it interferes with the whole contract process. So, and the same for CitizenCon. We know we're in Frankfurt, we know we're there for CitizenCon, but the date and venue still can't be released until we've finalized that contract process.
Right.
Because the last thing that the whole Star Citizen community would hate to have happen is a venue getting wind of the fact that we've announced the venue and we're still negotiating the contract, and then they go, oh, so you're those guys, well, you've got a bit more money, so let's take it. And no one would want that to happen. So until we're all done and dusted on the contract side and we're able to release the venue and the date and the time, please bear with us. But that is under process, so we're looking good. As soon as I can, we will.
Maybe in a couple of months we'll know, something like that. Hopefully.
Well, it's one of those. It's the lawyers talking to the lawyers, and it's the back and forth, making sure everything's there, making sure we've got everything in place to give the kind of party and event that we want. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, you don't want to tell people one date and have it change later on, and after everybody's made travel plans or something. So that's another reason to not say anything yet.
Exactly.
So okay. What else? What other pieces of information do you have to share with us? The juicy stuff.
All
the secrets that you're not supposed to say.
All the let's
Nobody will watch this. You can tell me. It's okay.
Come on, man. Let's see. Crew Cup is something else that's on our radar for. I think they're scheduled. From memory, it's around May or June. I have to confirm that. It might even be July. Crew Cup for the 2017. We'll definitely be wanting to highlight that, because that's a community-run racing cup. They got quite a bit of interest last year, but it would be, I think, a lot more fun this year, especially with the new flight balancing and making the races more skillful rather than just put your throttle on full and go for it.
Is that like a player-run version of Murray Cup, Crew Cup?
Absolutely.
I think I heard of that, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to get behind.
Oh, so you guys are gonna help out and support it somehow, or
look, even
something.
Even if our level of support is taking part and playing, or just showing some highlights on an ATV, I don't know, but let's see what our level of support will be. But we're definitely going to make sure that people are aware that that's taking place. Yeah. And it would be good to see some streamers take part and maybe do a little bit of commentating or announcing in various areas.
Yeah, I think the streamers wouldn't quite be as loud as the announcer that we've got in the game. He gets to be a little bit crazy. But he reminds me of one of the announcers from the Death Race 2000 movie, which I love so much. I think that's the style that they did, which I think is great. I think it's awesome. But they need to. We probably need to have more than one announcer down the road. People get tired of one announcer. Even I grew up with Howard Cosell, and he was a great announcer, but you could only take so much of him. You had to mix it up with somebody else. You know.
All right.
So, but people do like that announcer. I like him. Some people don't. Whatever. We're all different. Well, we got one question from Trivial Funksuit. I have no idea if you can even answer this, but he wonders about the Vanduul. They look so badass now, but are they as hard to fight as they look scary? That's kind of a hard one to answer. I think that's still in development. I mean, you can fight the Vanduul and Vanduul Swarm, but that's not really. It's not like hand-to-hand combat or something.
I wonder if the question is not so much around ship-to-ship combat, but maybe first-person shooting combat, or maybe like melee combat, because I would be scared if I had to take those guys on in melee. They look.
They do look bad. Yeah, they look pretty tough. I think we're a ways away from before we're doing hand-to-hand or first-person shooting with aliens. I know that they've got it in the plans as far as when that's going to happen. I don't know. I haven't heard anything that it's going to be included in launch. To me, that sounds like something like a little bit after launch type of thing.
Well, we've seen the Vanduul in their armor. We've seen them, running around a little bit in those mocap videos, but we haven't seen them fight so much yet, have we? I don't remember seeing any fights.
In the Cubby Blast on ArtCorp, you have a Vanduul head that's in a glass display case.
Yeah, but
it's like a trophy. They're ugly. That's about all I know about them.
There's a difference between seeing a trophy on a wall and seeing the live animal in front of you ready to rip you to pieces. Yeah, there's that.
Well, I don't want to be on the ground, laying on my back on the ground, looking up with that face in mind, drooling, ready to kill me. I don't want to have that. It looks kind of scary. So, we'll let the people who play in Star Marine, they can go do that, and I'll kick back in my ship and give them orders. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm more the command type than the frontline guy.
You'll send them in.
Yeah. I'll be in the pilot seat, ready to evacuate you after you win, guys. Go for it. There we go.
I like that Star Marine. We've got the two modes, and I like how the I always call it control, but I think it's called Last Stand, and it's where you've got the different points of the map that you need to hack the systems and control those areas. I like how tactical that is, because the first time you see people play it, they run in and they're killing and they're killing and they're killing back and forth, and then they say, well, we killed them. I mean, why did we lose? Well, you lost because you didn't control any of the points. You need to take them over and defend them and take over others, and you need some teamwork. So it's funny to see people, come to realize, oh, okay, so
there's a little strategy involved.
In this first-person shooting module, which is it's a game within the larger game. There's no casual element to Star Citizen. You got to be a gamer to get in and have fun and really play the game.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Moonshiner's got a question. What's been your favorite part of the development? That's a tough question, huh?
Jeez. I think my favorite part of the whole game and the whole development process is the creation of the technology to be able to play the game. And I know that's a very broad general answer, but I'll give you a quick insight into that. When I first visited Foundry 42 in Wilmslow office, this is better part of a couple of years ago, there were, I think, about 40 people in the office at the time. They were using about half of the ground floor. That's now expanded to 200 people. So back a ways. And I had the luxury of having a chat to Erin and Chris at the time, and I asked Chris a question about the level of technology required to make the game and why now was a good time to come back. And it was not that all the technology in the world existed ready to make Star Citizen, but enough of it existed to be able to, it's like the tools were there to make the tools to make the game. And so rather than waiting for all the tools there just to be able to come in and make the game, no, there was sort of just getting in early enough to, the tools are there to make the tools to make the game. And watching the team create the tools to make the game is truly impressive. The guys working on the mega map, which you'll learn more about over the coming month, to cut out or cut down all the loading screens is impressive tech. The networking code, the object streaming, so many different elements. How they choose what to render on the planets. Everywhere you look, they've created the tech to make the game, and I think from a completely geeky gamer point of view, that's super cool.
I know. I've seen them come up with so many different new ways of doing things, all these different pipelines, like for characters or for ships or for planets. It's just amazing because once they get all these tools done, which it sounds like they've got the bulk of them done now, we can really start seeing some content start rolling out pretty quickly. I know that they've been talking about this for a while, and it's finally starting to come together, which is really nice. And I think with the 3.0, we're really going to see the fruits of those labors start to really be something that you can actually get in there and play with. It's starting to feel real at that point. And we can really taste that. 2.6 is a little bit of a taste of what's coming on because we do have a lot of new content with this, but 3.0 is going to be just everything's just it's a whole new game pretty much. Okay. Here's Hassambra asked a question: where do Vanduul live planetside? I would assume they have their own planet they came from. I have no idea though.
Well, if you,
it's like that's a lore question.
Exactly. My lore is I will quantify my level of lore knowledge as patchy at best, compared to the level of lore that's out there. But I do remember watching some of the lore episodes and seeing how they talk about a system and how the Vandal have come over and taken over this planet, and or the UE have come in and freed that planet.
Right.
So there must be lore out there that says about them occupying or physically being present on a planet. But I don't know. I haven't spotted up on that. So
yeah, that's something we can look up, but I don't know that offhand myself. They've got to have a home planet. I think all the alien races are going to have a home planet, just like the Klingons and Romulans had their home planets that they expanded their empire from. It's got to be the same type
I just can't imagine little Vandal babies. That's like,
I'm not changing their diapers. Somebody else can do that. I don't want to deal with that. I'll just wait till they grow up, and then I'll shoot them in the head. There we go.
That's it.
Let's see. Buttfrog asked, "Do you guys plan on going to Atlanta to do a gaming event?" I haven't heard of any big gaming conventions in Atlanta in the last year, so I don't know. Are there any?
Dragon Ball Atlanta?
The Dragon Con?
Dragon Con. Where is that? That
Maybe.
off the top of my head, I feel like googling it now. Someone in chat, Google where Dragon Con is. Get back to us, let us know. Because something tells me that might be there, but
That might be
that's
it. Okay, Doc.
I know we've got a bit of community there, and I know that there was a really cool bar citizen there not long ago. So not hard to get drawn down to Atlanta. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Doc Buckshot asks, do you currently get to test or play the game, and which game modes are your favorite? That's a good one.
Absolutely. Everyone in the company gets to test and play the game, and we're encouraged to because it's more eyes on the game. When is the hard part, because we're all full time doing everything that we're trying to do to make the game. So at the moment, I'm in an office with the CS team from Foundry 42 Wilmslow, and I see the guys. They will have little Star Marine battles during the lunchtime, and have little Arena Commander battles during the lunchtime. Sometimes I'll try and join in. But for me, although I don't play the game much, I just run out of time. Sorry, I'm just so busy doing what I have to do first before I get to do so much of what I want to do. But I know that a lot of the team love to have little, especially now that Star Marine's out, little Star Marine battles in the lunchtime, and that we have a lot of fun with that.
I know that when you're working for a game company, you're not as much of a gamer anymore because you just don't have the time. So, for the most part, if you're working 10 and 12-hour days and you get home and, you just don't have as much time. I know.
But I do enjoy playing, and I'm looking forward to playing the Pirate Swarm. I think that the different ships that you're going up against there, that might be a bit of fun. So I'll have to get my badge for completing that.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moonshiners is asking, can you tell us anything about the Vanduul merchantman we don't know?
No. But it wouldn't. All I can say is it wouldn't be a stream without a question about the Vanduul merchant.
That's true. Everybody wants to know about that one. That's one of the most anticipated ships. I know. I got one. I'm waiting for it. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
All I know is it is scheduled in the pipeline, and that's all I know. So if you look at the ship pipeline on the internal side, they've got all the ships mapped out and all the artists and when they're going to work on them and how things, and then that gets swapped around a little bit sometimes. It's in there. It is on the schedule. That's all I can say.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've seen the timeline or the different, the 3.0, 3.1, 3.2, what's included in everything. They gave us that slideshow.
That's right.
And that was so informal. That was so helpful. That's been a godsend. It's answered so many questions and prevented even more. Thank goodness.
I think the main thing, because if you've pledged to support the game and your pledge was based around a particular ship, you just want to make sure that no one's forgotten about that ship. So it hasn't fallen off the radar. It is actually coming, and it has got its own little time slots, and right. So it will be before these and after these, but roughly then. And some of the ships have been given an earlier sort of time slot because they were quick and easy to get out, and it helped test the tech. And other ships will come later because of the tech required to be able to put them together and have them functioning. So that's some of what's going on there. Like it's a lot easier to produce the 85X than it is the 890 jump.
Right. It's less work is one thing. If they've already got some of the tech or the artwork done from other ships from that manufacturer. That helps speed things up. And I
Well,
know, and they were prioritizing ships that were included in Squadron 42, which I think the Vanduul Merchantman probably wasn't. I don't think that one is. So that kind of got it got put towards the back of the line because it just wasn't quite needed yet. I know that's a kind of a bad way to put it, but it's kind of like it's what it ends. It is what it is. You know,
it's prudent but it's honest.
Yeah, you know, and they've said as much. You know, I think we've got all the big ships are being worked on or almost being worked on. The Vanduul Merchantman is probably like the oldest pledge ship that we haven't really seen anything yet. That's a big ship. So we finally got the Caterpillar in, and I know that was one of the. Wasn't the Caterpillar like the very first big ship? I think besides the Constellation. It was before the Starfarer, I think. I don't know.
It's a while back. Yeah.
But we're getting them all in here. They're all on the list, thank goodness. So.
And it's a big ship. It really is a big ship. I've been watching streams of people walking around on it and opening up the bays and flying Merlins through it, and
it's pretty cool.
It's a big ship.
Yeah, I've got one. I've walked around in it. It's huge. It's huge, and flying it is a pain because it's just so long. It's longer than the Starfarer.
Yeah. I think it's just a little bit longer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not as chubby. Yeah.
Right. It's not as hard to get lost in it as the Starfarer.
Yeah.
The Starfarer, the first hour and a half, I was walking around. I didn't know what floor I was on. I was like, "Where am I?" I was streaming it. It was hilarious. So I got to start doing. I got to do a hangar tour of the Caterpillar now. At least I've walked around it a little bit, so I won't be fumbling around and being so stupid. So okay, let's see. We got other questions here. Impkeeper asks about the Caterpillar. In some of the ATVs, they showed that it would have screens with a map of the ship that said where people were aboard the ship. Where did these screens go? Are they not there in the current version of the Caterpillar? Impkeeper, there are some in the very back of the ship, like in the engine room. There are some in there now. I don't think that they display much, if anything, yet, but the terminals and the screens are there.
And this, I haven't
it's
seen,
probably not
I
working
haven't seen
yet.
that tech working in the game yet, but I know that it has been talked about. I don't know if it.
They showed us some in a video once.
It's out yet. Well, I remember seeing a small piece talking about being able to, like have that whole Star Trek where the people walking around the ship kind of feel to things. And that was really interesting to me from the point of view of the capital ships, especially like the Idris or the Bengal, where you really want to know, have I got 20 friendlies there or have I got no friendlies there, and maybe they've been boarded. And so that command control kind of feel to running a larger ship would come into play. And I know that the idea has been talked about, but I'm not sure if they really fleshed out and nutted out how it was going to work, or if it was going to work, and how they were going to go about doing it. So I know that it remained part of the concept to want to be able to do that. I just don't know if I don't know how long through that idea that things are yet.
Yeah, that's the type of thing that's not going to be in the initial ship build when it's put in. Just like with the Starfarer, we still don't have the refueling in. That's just one of the subcomponents that's still being worked on. It's all new. It's probably got tech that they're just not done with yet. Just trying to get the ship in and flyable and pretty reliable, so you're not falling through the floor left and right. That's the priority. Then all the little bells and whistles come later. We know that. We've been through it a few times on ships already. So I think it's coming. It's just down the road a little bit. Next couple of months, we'll probably see it in there, I would think. The Caterpillar's in there. It's a start. It's on the way. Soon.
Soon.
Okay. Let's
These
see.
are good questions, though. Keep them coming.
Doc Buckshot's got another question. As a marketing manager, have any of the criticisms about having sales, even when there are delays, changed your marketing strategies?
we do our best to listen to all the feedback of the community. So to think that any one piece of feedback does or doesn't affect our decision-making process would be, I think, would be erroneous. We do our best to ensure that the project is funded, and to make sure that we are in a good position to create the game that we all want it to be, and provide interesting and fun ways for backers to participate and show their support. But all the time, we try and get across the message that all you need is a game package with a starter ship. Get that little upgrade now to Squadron 42, because it's only going to get more expensive,
right?
And go from there. We do listen to the feedback, and we do a postmortem every sale that there is, and the customer service team will tell us where we could have improved and how things got a little bit salty, and we try and make sure that we're listening to that feedback and iterating it on everything that we do. Yeah, absolutely.
I know that CIG keeps changing up the way that they do sales and pricing, and I've been a backer for like 15 months or something now. Not a long time compared to some of you guys, but I've seen a lot of changes in that time, and I think it's all makes sense and is heading in a good direction, in my opinion. So I think you guys are doing a good job on reading the customers, the backers, what their feelings are, addressing that. You can't make everybody happy all the time, but you can make most of the people happy most of the time, and that's all you can hope for sometimes. I think it's all going good. You know, I'm still backing. You know,
I like how, as new content gets delivered in game and as the game expands, our opportunities to give fun and interesting ways for people to back the game increase. So you imagine now you get a hoplite, and you know it's a dropship. You know you want to have half a dozen guys in the back there, armed to the teeth, and so when you might see in the future little upgrade packages or weapons packages that will give you some armor and guns and stuff. So there's lots of interesting ways that you can pledge your support to the game and be rewarded in game coming up as the game expands. You know, as the opportunities increase. If you look right back at the start, and there might be just a handful of ships, your opportunities are those handful of ships. So as we go towards completion, the so many different ships and packages and game elements that come into play just make the whole process more interesting.
Here's a question from Impkeeper about tax in Europe. I don't even know if you can answer this one. We can try. I know that the taxes, it's up to the government whether they charge tax or not. This isn't a question that CIG can really control, but maybe you can shed some light on it. Question, I may be wrong, but VAT's tax are applied when you shop with stores outside of Europe. But is CIG not part of Europe now that they have a studio in Germany? And is VAT's tax not only applied when you do purchases and not pledges and donations? Or is it no longer pledges? And okay. It is purchases now.
Well, Jenna, this is actually kind of funny because not just this Friday, but the Friday before, so about a week and a half ago, I was talking to one of the gentlemen who would be perfect to talk about this. And we were kind of laughing because he's never been on ATV, and we're saying, okay, well, you know, if I was on ATV, what would I talk about? I'd talk about tax and VAT and credits and how the company, you know, uses its international setup to the best advantage of the backer funding. So he would actually be a great one to ask this question. I, on the other hand, my limit is knowing that there is tax, and I tend to pay too much. Okay.
I know we all hate paying tax, but unfortunately, that's kind of what keeps the world going.
I can tell you that there are some incredibly talented people in place making sure that any pledges and are done to maximize the benefit of the company, to maximize the production of the game, and to work in line with the rules and guidelines of all the world and all the countries that have a hand in it, and make sure that we're doing everything as we should to the best advantage of the project.
Yeah, the taxes are not something that you can pick and choose what you got to pay. If you've got the European Union is saying you got to charge tax on what you're selling, then you do it. Or they bring the hammer down, and that's just going to be fines, and that's a waste of backer money.
Don't want that.
You know, we'd rather be making ships with that money, not giving it to some government if we don't need to. Okay, another question. Ram1313, does he know why the live stream video of the Christmas stream is gone on YouTube? I was actually looking for that earlier today on YouTube. I did not see the live stream on YouTube yet, but it is on Twitch on I think it's the Star Citizen channel on Twitch.
Sounds right.
Or is it the CIG community one? One of the two of them has it there. It's like 2 hours and 40-minute live stream. You could just watch it. It's just the full stream, unedited, I believe. Usually, Jared does get it up on YouTube eventually.
I think the guys are just wanting the opportunity to cut out some of the unnecessary parts. Maybe no need to watch me looking at the camera for half a minute, waiting to cut to me. So, they might be doing me a favor and just cutting out some of those parts. I do know that some of the really cool pre-recorded videos, like the Vanduul piece, they're up on the Star Citizen YouTube website now. You can go watch them, go check them out. If you didn't see the if you didn't see the live stream live and you'd like to know what went on, starting with those 5 or 6 videos, I think it is a pretty good place to start. And that'll be, 30, 40 minutes of content just there.
Right.
And then after that, you'd be watching Europe, kick and take names. And you'll be watching us play racing and Arena Commander and Star Marine. But you can also watch streamers now doing that. So what you've missed, the real information, it's pretty much there in those pieces anyway.
Well, you can watch the entire cast on Twitch, and it's still the weekend for us, so it's only been 2 days. So you can't expect them to edit a 2.5 hour video over the weekend. Let them get some rest. This last couple of weeks has been crunch time,
busy.
So let them have a day or two of rest and come back in and crunch it out this week. Because I think you guys got one more week of work, and then you got the last week of the year is off, right, for a holiday break.
So the studios are closed between Christmas and New Year's, as a rough guideline. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's what I thought. But so we still got this week to get 2.6 to live, if we can, so that everybody can have the next week off. Would be nice. But it's ready when it's ready. You fix one bug, another one pops up. You just can't control that. All right, let's see. Another question here. Once Squadron 42 is released, will CIG be considering more mainstream marketing options like website television commercials? Well, that's a good question, because we haven't seen CIG do a whole lot of traditional media marketing, which they don't really need to this far ahead of time. And I know that they've been spending their money other ways, which is probably wise, which in my opinion is wise. But we've got the citizens and the community and the streamers are doing a lot of that for them at little or no cost. So, which is another smart strategy move on their end to let us do that. And Twitch and the streaming really is changing the way games are coming out too, and the way the games are being promoted. So,
I think my brief answer to that would be you should expect the level of global marketing to be commensurate with the state of the game. So as the game gets more completed, you should naturally expect us to be showing off more and more in a larger and larger scale.
Until we know when the game's going to finally get released, you can't really speculate when that's going to be. But I would assume it's going to start just from this point forward, just slowly start ramping up more and more, and getting faster as we get dates become known, which we're not there yet. But
I mean, if you imagine us having a huge party, a huge event to launch Squadron 42 in its entirety and say, here it is, world. Until that happens, you couldn't imagine us doing a small release or a small publication with all the cast of Squadron 42 and blowing that opportunity. So expect things to be commensurate with the level of completion of the game.
Okay.
But yes, in general, because there was a specific question, are we considering doing X, Y, Z versions of marketing? Yes, we're considering everything.
Okay, let's see if we got any more questions here. Are there going to be drones that send live information back to you, such as a maps readout or where enemies are located, etc.? I think that's something that's down the road a bit. I know that's not really something that you get involved with marketing and events, unless maybe those drones are at an event. But I don't think you have that plan yet.
Our version of that, Steve, is getting another player in the game, and you're chatting to them on Spectrum, and you say, "Hey, go have a look around the corner and see if there's some. Oh, there's some enemies there." That's our version. Our drone is some,
I think we're a bit away from
coercible player, and you know.
Yeah, we got to make do until we do get the drones.
Get your brother-in-law to go look around the corner. Hey, poke your head around the corner there. Okay, yeah, there was a guy with a sniper rifle. Confirmed. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I don't know.
Here's a good one for you. The UK team beat the US team easily. Did the UK team expect to win? Were there late night strategy sessions? Was there side bets incentives we don't know about?
No, yes. So
oh, right there. Next question. No. you might want to explain that.
Right. So Team Europe versus Team USA. A lot of smack talk behind the scenes, a lot of, see how you go, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. And in all the playtests leading up to the event, the racing, Wayne was doing brilliantly. He came first and second most of the time, to the point where he was practicing his victory move just as much as he was practicing the game, and he set some pretty good lap times there, faster than I'd seen lap times with the previous flight mechanics. So that makes me think that the new flight mechanics, if you're skillful, you can actually go faster than you used to be able to go, even when you had your throttle full. So that's just an aside. Arena Commander, in all the play tests leading up to the actual live game, Team USA won. So it wasn't until the actual, the show where Team Europe really picked up their game and won the Arena Commander. I thought Team USA were going to win that. I really did, because they had won convincingly in the prelims. Star Marine, I don't remember Team USA winning a round of Star Marine in the prelims. I'm not saying they didn't. I just don't recall one. So when they won their second round, that was a surprise to me. I was like, oh, okay. And you saw the score. The Team Europe were ahead, and then USA came back and won the round. And they just did some really great tactical play in that second round and came back and won that. So did I expect Team Europe to win? I would have put their odds at 60-40 rather than being anything so greatly overconfident. They were looking likely to win, but it could have been anyone's game on the day.
That was fun to watch the competition. I really enjoyed that.
It was good fun. It was especially fun just to be in the room watching them and hear the gamer talk on Mumble as well. Was there much behind the scenes practice? These guys were putting in a little bit of extra practice in their own time, staying on a little bit after work and having little playthroughs, and in their lunch hours, they were putting in enough practice that they weren't going to feel embarrassed on the day. Let's say that. And were there any side bets that we don't know of? Yes, but I don't know of them. But I know that there were. I know that there were some side bets going on. Yeah.
No comment. Yeah, you can't talk about gambling in space, and somebody will want to tax you for it probably. So.
I know that.
What's with the Vandal questions today? You're apparently the Vandal expert at CIG.
I know very, very little about the Vandal. So the most I know about the Vandal.
Just make up a really good rumor answer. Let's get something interesting started at the end of the year. So how can Vanduul survive in space and still be damaged by flame weapons or cold weapons?
Wow. Over to you, David Haddock.
Okay. Yeah, he'll get back to us with that answer later on, maybe soon.
Yeah,
soon.
Soon. Yeah.
I think they just have spacesuits that protect them against some damage, but not others. I think that's a good, easy answer.
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, budgetary restraints. They can't protect against everything. They have to pick and choose who lives and who dies.
I mean, it could be one of the reasons why they're so angry. So, yeah.
Well, that's why there's so many of them. They have to flock in huge groups because so many. They're just cannon fodder. It's just like their ships. They're not super powerful ships, but if you have enough of them, they beat you down. So, just look at Vandal Swarm. They got 10-on-4 constantly, and they still lose. So. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions, guys? Because we've been going over an hour, and I said that our time limit would be roughly an hour. Cameron, you got anything else you want to add? Get off your chest? Tell us your secrets.
People are... Well, no, I would just draw a little attention to barcitizen.sc.
Okay, barcitizen.sc, yeah.
People take part in barcitizen events, as well as host their own in their own little community should they want to. So if people are thinking, well, we've got a few friends in the area and we're wanting to have a fun little get together, then that's a good website to go to. You can always ping Rico a little hello, see if he's available to help introduce you to some other bar citizen coordinators and get their feedback and ideas and how they've gone about it and how they've done it. I know that the Netherlands just had an incredibly successful event where they sold out of tickets and they were at capacity. So
Nice.
it's definitely doable. It's definitely worth having a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I just organized a Bar Citizen event like 2 weeks ago in Santa Monica, California, near the CIG office. We had about 20 people there, and I used the barcitizen.sc site to promote it. I used the RSI website. I used my Twitch stream to promote it. I used Twitter, and we had a really good turnout. Had people driving up from San Diego, driving 2.5 hours to get there. It was a lot of fun. We were there for like 4 hours, 5 hours, from like 7 till I think 11 or something. We were there for a long time. And that was fun. And yeah, and I did it all by myself. It's really not that hard to do, guys. On the California, we have a California Discord channel set up. So if you're in California, let me know and I can get you the link to get on the Discord to organize and find these events happening. And we've got new people coming in all the time. It's just like the barcitizen.sc. It's a tool to help you find other citizens, to get things organized, find out what's already happening, or to help plan one. So I joined it.
Absolutely.
I was in there for a couple weeks. Didn't see anything happen in my area, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do one then. And I just did it. It took a few hours. It wasn't that hard. I didn't have to spend any money. It was pretty easy. So I'm gonna work with somebody else to plan another one in a couple months. So keep it going.
And do make sure that even if you organize your event and meetup outside of using the website, please post it on that website, because the dev teams, we look at those websites and we make sure we communicate internally where the events are coming up, because you never know when a bunch of devs might just go, oh, hey, let's just go down and join up that meetup, and oh, I'm on holiday. I happen to be, that's my hometown, and I happen to be on holiday in that country at that time, so I'll go along and have a look. There was, I think someone was even having an event in Ortwin's hometown or something, and he was looking and going, oh wow, that's really cool. So you never know who might turn up. So make sure you at least post it so that it is a general invite to all of Cloud Imperium games as well.
That's a very good point. Very good point. Here's a question. I have no idea if you can answer it, but let's give it a try. We have all kinds of questions today that have nothing to do with marketing and events, but you're the expert on everything else. Okay.
I will do my best.
We know Squadron will be a very cinematic game. Could you somehow explain how cinematic it will be based on your favorite movie?
Oh, wow.
Well, that's assuming that you've even played it.
So how cinematic is it going to be?
It sounds like there's going to be a lot of it from what I've heard, but
I'm wondering if the person asking the question is thinking along the lines of cut scenes and stage scenes.
That's kind of what it sounds like, yeah.
Feel like you're part of a movie. So are there going to be cinematic qualities to some of the scenes that you're going to be taking part in? Yes. Are there going to be cinematic qualities to the whole game experience? Yes, and you've already experienced some of that just walking around the ships and getting used to the cameras now. So you're going to feel like the level of fidelity of all the graphics of every part of the game are of a quality that you could set a scene anywhere and make it feel like a movie. I think to talk about Squadron 42 anymore may give the wrong impressions and might give spoilers. So I'll just stop there.
Yeah,
Don't talk
it's
about
this generalities is all you can do on something like that. We don't expect any specifics.
And considering that a whole bunch of the team working on Squadron 42 have worked in the film industry, to think that it will be anything less than a cinematic marvel is,
With all the other standards this game is striving for, I think it's going to be amazing. Whatever Squadron 42 is, it's going to be amazing. It's not going to be like anything we're used to. It's a game changer. The whole industry is already scrambling to figure out how they can start trying to catch up to CIG. It's going to take them a few years at least. That's okay. Everybody will be playing Star Citizen, and all the other games will have nobody there because they'll be boring.
And again, it brings me back to that point about how CIG are creating the technology to be able to make the game. So if the technology was already out there, then this game would already probably be in development by a whole bunch of different studios.
Right.
But it isn't. So it's not. So we're making it.
You guys are making more tools than I've ever seen any other game company make to do stuff. I mean, we want to do it. What do we got to do it? And you're just doing it.
Making tools to keep track of the tools, Steve.
I know. I know. I had Toast on here a month ago interviewing him, and he's got a programming background. And he talked at length about a lot of the tools that they work with, that they've been making, and it was very, very interesting. And I know that we've seen some of them in the videos now. Like they showed us the planet creation one at CitizenCon, right?
Oh, that's just
that was amazing. I mean,
you could almost. I mean, you've seen people release that almost as a whole tech or game or something on its own, let alone it just being a significant yet discrete part of the tech that's going into making the larger game.
Yeah, there's a lot of tools like that, and I know that there's been a lot of talk about Star Citizen us being able to run our own servers and mod it, like somebody wants to have a Star Trek mod or a Star Wars mod, universe type thing. And I'm sure that we're going to have it, but that's a ways down the road because you guys are still working on creating new tech and modifying the engine, and the tools got to get updated every time the engine does. So until the overall development slows down on the back end stuff, you can't even think about releasing tools to the public. I know Toast was talking about this. Right. So yeah, it's still being talked about. Hopefully it's something that's going to happen. When? Who knows? But it sounds like it's on the table and it's planned, but it's still going to be a little ways away. But it's amazing. The stuff I've seen is just like wow. Because the programmer gets to create stuff, gets to see it in front of them, visually see the planet, visually see this and that, and you got sliders. It's crazy. I'm used to coding stuff by hand, and then you run it or compile it and see what it's like, not actually watching it live as you're creating it. That's pretty cool. That's definitely going to make game development down the road a lot faster to come up with new planets for us down the road. So I can see us having hundreds of planets to go to fairly easily. Make a planet. This is what it is. Add a few custom things here and there. Fill it out. Give it some missions. Boom. Boom.
It's that.
Good to go.
It's that balance between, because you don't want everything completely procedurally generated, because then it's just dull and boring. And gamers, we spot that. We know very quickly, oh, that's just 100% procedurally gen. We can see.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so we don't want that. That's boring. That gets boring very quickly. But we want the artists to be as absolutely assisted as possible. So I think someone coined the phrase procedurally assisted. and
Ooh,
I
that's a
like
good
that.
one. That's a good one.
So we'll generate a planet, and here you go. Here it is. It's what it looks like, and now make it beautiful, and now add the CIG touch, and now get these artists doing what they want to do and making it feel right and flow right and have interesting little nooks and crannies to it. Yeah. So
I think it's all coming along really well, and it's definitely coming. The plan's coming together now. I can see it. We got new stuff, major new stuff coming out every month lately. So all the naysayers are kind of like keeping pretty quiet lately, and they're gonna be completely shut up here pretty soon, I think, especially when 3.0 comes out. So hopefully soon. We'll see. A couple of months maybe. It's ready when it's ready. I know. All right. I think we're about done here, unless you got something else you want to say? You want to add?
no, I would just finish with my usual comment that this game and the project relies on the support of the community. So thank you to everyone who continually supports the game, not only financially, but just with moral support and that tangible feedback that we get when we do events and we meet the backers, and it's just it's a whole lot of fun. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. You guys are doing a great job. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's just you're doing it right. Nobody else even comes close to what you guys are doing. So, Old Grizzly's asking about if you can watch this later. Yeah, I'll have this interview up on YouTube probably later today, and I'll tweet it out with the link so you guys can see. Okay. Well, I think let's call it. I think we've had a good interview. Done like an hour and 20 minutes. That's pretty good. Don't
Good.
got to keep it kind of short, or people won't watch it later on. It gets too long, gets too out of control. And we've covered a lot of information. We've learned a little bit about Cameron here and what he does at CIG and how he got there. And like I said before, I've worked with him before at CitizenCon. He was a cool guy. He was fun to work with. He's definitely organized. He's got his stuff together. He's making things happen for CIG, which is good for all of us. And just like the live stream a couple days ago, he was helping to be one of the what'd you call it? And one of the co-anchor at the UK,
Yeah,
the host
yeah,
or something like that.
The UK host, you could say.
Yeah.
Just one of the go-to guys there, but the team required to put that together on top of their normal job. So people ask sometimes, look, why was it not so slick and professional like a TV show? Well, we're busy making a game. You know, we do this live streaming for a bit of fun to show you some tech. We wanted to show that the game was playing on a global scale with teams from different parts of the world going head to head in different game modes that are playable now, and the content's there. It's fun, it's interactive, and we wanted to show that live. And so we did. But we're straight back to busy making a game. The number one comment from the QA guys when we finished the live stream, and I think this will sum it up. So they're like, all right, so we can go back to testing the game now to get it out, can't we? Yep, cool, right, off we go. And so, and any bugs or glitches that were highlighted in the playtest leading up to the live stream, create focus for the team wanting to get it out to the community. So it all had added benefits.
Yeah, that's what I took away from it. I spent a week at CIG Santa Monica a couple weeks ago helping do some of the behind-the-scenes stuff for that video, and flying ships and stuff that was just towards the beginning. When they were capturing the Caterpillar with the big bennies, I was flying some of those ships and stuff. That was fun. I got to watch a lot of the procedures and the ways that you guys do things, and I was I was impressed. I was really impressed. There's a lot more going into it, a lot more planning than I thought. I'm used to doing a stream with me, one person, one computer, one game, maybe another person like you on Skype, but you guys are doing this live thing with 30 people and different offices, and that's a nightmare. So I couldn't do it, not without some practice at least. Okay, Cameron, thanks a lot. I'm gonna let you go. I know it's Sunday evening for you, and you gotta get back to playing Star Citizen or relaxing or something other than talking to us on Twitch here.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be on your show, and
thank you.
Keep up the good streaming.
It's been a pleasure having you, and hopefully I will work with you again soon. And and thank you again. Thank you for your time, and thank you for your service to all of us Star Citizens.
Absolute pleasure.
So, Cameron Wilkie, everybody, thank you much. All right, guys, we're going to call it an interview. And Cameron, thanks again. And maybe I'll interview you again later on. Maybe. Keep that door open. If I can get you to narrow down a date. Took me a month and a half to get today's date from you. You're a busy guy.
Oh.
But I appreciate your time. We all do. Thank you very much. And all right, everybody. Thanks a lot. You have a good day, and I'll catch you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.